Hello and welcome to Your Government in Action, a presentation of Bahamas Information Services. I'm Carissa Williamson. While giving his presentation on the 2023-2024 budget statement to Parliament on February 21st, 2024, Prime Minister and Minister of Finance, the Honorable Philip Davis, KC, said that in 2023, the Bahamas experienced a robust economic rebound.
As a small island developing state, with an economy greatly impacted by economic developments abroad, reporting on our fiscal health and performance requires reference to developments in the global markets, particularly those markets that mean much to our economy. The global economy has experienced a slowdown in gross domestic product growth, GDP growth, which is primarily attributable to a deceleration in advanced economies. This, in turn, has largely reflected ongoing and concerted efforts to implement tighter monetary policies as a means of reining in persistent and damaging inflationary pressures. As a result, we have witnessed a gradual decline in global inflation. Despite this general, rather muted global outlook, the economy of our major trading partner, the United States of America, posted real growth to the tune of 3.3% in the final quarter of 2023, and a slight lowering of the rate of unemployment to 3.9%. This stronger than expected performance was achieved alongside a decline in the rate of inflation to 2.4% during the quarter. The forecast for 2024 sees economic growth at 1.5%, attributed to the anticipated reduction in savings and tightening monetary policy by the Federal Reserve. Consequently, the unemployment rate is forecast to peak at 4.4% by the last quarter of 2024. These projections suggest a gradual moderation in economic activity in the United States over the coming years, influenced by both domestic and global dynamics. In 2023, the Bahamas experienced a robust economic rebound, primarily fueled by significant tourism inflows, leading to an estimated real GDP growth of 4.3%. This growth, while lower than the previous year's remarkable 14.4%, produced an unemployment rate below 9%. Inflation peaked in mid-2022. The current account deficit also narrowed to 6.2% of GDP, showcasing a positive trend in external balances. Preliminary indications suggest that the domestic economy maintained its growth trajectory in the latter half of 2023 at a gentler pace as economic conditions continue to normalize. Strong tourism performance was supported by increases in both air traffic and sea arrivals, reflecting continued demand for travel in our key source markets. As consumer activity expanded, so did inflationary pressures, albeit in a more subdued manner. Compared to recent experience, as measured by changes in the average consumer price index, at the end of November, the index rose 2% as compared to the prior year, largely owing to increased health prices as well as domestic adjustments to the rise in global commodity prices. However, transportation prices had a noteworthy decline, reflecting a moderation in the rate of increase in global oil prices compared to the previous year. Madam Speaker, looking ahead to 2024, the economic outlook remains favorable, with continued growth anticipated, especially in the tourism sector. The government remains aware of the risks we face as a developing small island nation, including the possibility of economic slowdowns in tourism source markets or costly natural disasters. The government is taking multiple steps to address these risks and bolster our economic resilience, including measures to build fiscal buffers, as well as exploring investments in renewable energy infrastructure. Madam Speaker, I now turn to the fiscal performance for the first half of 2023-2024 fiscal year. Starting with the provisional revenue estimates. For the first 6 months of the year, preliminary total revenue collections are assessed at $1.3 billion, which represented a $43.8 million increase over the same period of the prior year. To date, revenue collections accounted for 39.2% of the annual budget target. Stronger collections are expected in the second half of this fiscal year, reflecting the cyclical nature of the fiscal year. In addition, the revenue yield in the second half of the fiscal year will benefit from new measures such as the increase of the cruise departure tax and the new Business License Act. Now, this Business License Act introduces new fees for international business companies for the first time. We have not forecasted any major uplift, as IBCs by their very nature are mobile. Madam Speaker, I'll share some key highlights. Tax revenue collections improved by $72.9 million and stood at $1.2 billion for the first 6 months of the fiscal year. This represented a 40.1% of the budget target. This administration implemented a structural reform in the VAT regime, effective January 2022, which reduced the rate from 12% to 10%. Value-added tax collections accounted for 55.2% of tax revenues and totaled $646 million at the half-year mark. This represented growth of $47.2 million relative to the same period in the previous year and equated to 40.6% of the annual budget target. Compared to the fiscal year 2021-2022, before the VAT rate reform, the 6 months VAT collections this year have increased by 18.6% or $101.4 million, despite the decrease. We reduced the rate of VAT, but the strength of our growing economy, along with significant improvements to our enforcement efforts, has led to the increase in VAT revenues. Excise tax during the period improved to $15.4 million, a $14.3 million increase compared to the previous year. At the half-year mark, excise tax surpassed the budget target by some 540.9%, or by $13 million. With the sustained improvement in the tourism sector, departure tax collections total $84.8 million and improved by $13.3 million relative to the previous year. At the half-year mark, departure tax accounted for 42.5% of the budget target. With introduction of the departure tax adjustments for cruise passengers, we expect a further and significant increase in its revenue component for the remaining 6 months of the fiscal year. In the non-tax revenue component, collections were mainly higher for fees and service charges as they relate to customs fees, which increased by $5.4 million to $27.6 million and equated to 50.3% of the budget target. Madam Speaker, for the first 6 months of the year, preliminary aggregate expenditure was $1.56 billion, which represented an increase of $24.7 million over the previous year.
The first graduating cohort of aviation security officers and passenger screeners training for 2024 was applauded for completing highly skilled techniques in keeping with international standards and best practices. The commencement exercise for the 30 participants took place at New Providence Community Church on February 21st, 2024.
I will endeavor to be brief today, as I simply say congratulations to the team, the new members of the team who have joined us today in full force. Graduates, all 30 of you, this is your special moment. You've each shown a high degree of commitment and dedication in undertaking 6 weeks of direct instructions, followed by 2 weeks of on-the-job training. You were exposed to the core discipline of aviation security as prescribed by ICAO, by Civil Aviation Authority of the Bahamas, and the U.S. Homeland Security Transportation Security Administration, standard and operation procedures. You have a lot of training, and you're now certified. You have successfully completed your training, and you now possess the knowledge, skills, and capacity to implement security provisions of the Civil Aviation Authority of the Bahamas. Ladies and gentlemen, this is, I believe, the second graduating cohort of the Aviation Security Officers and Passenger Screening Training, but you are the first in 2024, and I therefore congratulate you again. Ladies and gentlemen, I ask you please to give them all a round of applause. Now, before I go on, I want to ask the audience, have you ever traveled early one morning, moving through TSA? Have you ever met a grumpy airport authority officer who sets your day off in a bad way? How many people experience that? How many people experience that in other countries outside of the Bahamas? I'm glad to see that more hands went up the second time than the first. And how many of you experience a pleasant airport security personnel passing through the TSA? That's good news. So I want to congratulate all of the currently serving officers, and I want to say to you that you have a standard now to maintain, a standard to uphold, so that when I return next year to speak to the graduating class of 2025, they will speak proudly of you as the audience spoke of the existing airport security workers. I make this point because of a point made by Dr. Roman, reminding you that notwithstanding that you are trained as a security officer, you are indeed an ambassador for our beloved country. You will have the opportunity to shape the experiences and to shape the talking points of many of the visitors to our country. So notwithstanding, as Mr. Boyle pointed out, that your job is really to serve with vigilance and serve well, carrying out all of your training. I want to remind you that you're also an ambassador, working at the gateway of our country. And I am told that in due course, for the 2025 cohort perhaps, that we're going to include Bahama Host as a part of the training of the next cohort. because we want to emphasize, as we have been doing over the last few weeks, that tourism is indeed everyone's business. Members of the Airport Authority training staff, I commend each and all of you collectively for the excellent job you have done in preparing this team of fine officers joining the forces today. The Bahamas is a proud member state of ICAO. In carrying out these ongoing series of critical specialized training, you're playing an instrumental role in assisting our nation to support ICAO and meet our obligations to implement the civil aviation security standards under the Chicago Convention.
More of Your Government in Action when we return. Welcome back. NBA star Trevano Buddy Hield was appointed the country's third ambassador at large for sports and cultural advancement. He was presented credentials by Prime Minister and Minister of Finance, the Honorable Philip Davis, KC, in a ceremony held at the office of the Prime Minister on February 16, 2024.
Buddy's journey from the shores of 8 Mile Rock in Grand Bahama to the bright lights of the NBA is a testament to the spirit and resilience of the Bahamian people. Growing up as the fifth of 7 children, Buddy's early life was marked by the kind of challenges that forge true champions. His story is not just one of athletic prowess, but of profound personal growth and profound dedication. The Bahamas, we are reminded of a profound truth from the scriptures. Your gifts will make room for you. Buddy's story is the embodiment of wisdom. In every dribble, every shot, and every game, Buddy has carried the heart of our nation, demonstrating to the world what we as Bahamians are capable of achieving. But what's truly remarkable is how he's used his platform. Returning home, leading camps, uplifting the youth. Buddy has shown us that success isn't just about reaching the top. It's about how many people you bring along with you. Buddy, your story inspires us all to aim higher and to support one another. As Prime Minister, empowering Bahamians like Buddy is a privilege. Today, we celebrate not just an athlete, but a leader who embodies the best of the Bahamas. Let's draw inspiration from his story, not just in sports, but in every endeavor. Our gifts, nurtured with hard work and grounded in community, can indeed open doors and create opportunities, not just for ourselves, but for those around us. Buddy Hield, today we celebrate you, not only as an athlete, but as a symbol of hope and a testament to the power of giving back. You have been an ambassador for the Bahamas long before today, draped in the Bahamian colors both on and off the court, embodying our values, our resilience, and our hope. As you officially take on this role, know that you carry with you the pride, the love, and support of your Bahamian family. We are confident that you will continue to represent our beautiful archipelago with the same grace, dedication, and excellence that you have always shown. So to the young people of the Bahamas, let Buddy's journey inspire you. Dream big, work tirelessly, And remember, your gifts, combined with dedication and commitment to your community, can indeed make room for you in the world. And to you, buddy, thank you. Thank you for being a shining example for what it means to be truly great, both on and off the court. Congratulations, Ambassador.
I would say that taking on a different role now, being a leader, being a leader by example, and just it's tough, taking on these challenges. But I'm just glad to be in this opportunity, and where I be able to inspire people, not only the basketball court, but being as ambassador of the Bahamas, and just taking a very accepted journey. And as I transition to being a businessman, I'm just ready for the challenge.
And we know you had your camps going on. I mean, how does this tie into that? Because you've been giving back to the country for so long.
It's helped me a lot in just bigger and better things now. Just on the global aspect now, and hopefully I can just keep on reaching out and supporting the Loot, and just trying to tap in not only even Freeport, but tapping in Nassau and around other family islands.
We know recently you have been traded to the 76ers,
Yeah.
and currently sitting fifth in the standings.
Yeah.
How exciting is to possibly making it to the playoffs?
Oh, it's very exciting. Haven't made the playoffs yet, and every day I'm working hard each and every day to perfect my craft, my new teammates, get to learn my teammates. We don't have the big fellas yet. He's hurt, but hopefully we can make a push and be able to sustain in the fifth or even get higher. I feel that the guys are coming back after the All-Star break. I feel like we can be able to get it even higher, but because stay together, learn each other, and hopefully we figure it out.
Have you had an opportunity to talk to the big man yet?
Yes,
How's that conversation like?
He's funny. He's funny. He's excited to work. He's a worker. He wants to win, and even though he's down with injury, he's going to try to fight back, get back quick on the basketball court, because he's excited to play with me. I'm excited to play with him, but I'm also excited to see what we can do and how far we can go.
Tyrese Halliburton said that he'll surely miss you,
Yeah.
and that he's sure that he'll be in the Bahamas with you next after the season.
Yeah.
Talk about the tourism impact that you have now and that you already had.
Every time, all my teammates, even teammates now, they wanted to come to Bahamas. They say, "Yo, buddy, I want to come to Bahamas with you." And that's every team I go on, I always try to invite my teammates to come to Bahamas, show them where I'm from, let them feel the island love, and eat some conch or take them to fish fry, eat some fish, and we all eat fish a different way, but not the Bahamian way, So peas and rice, all that type of stuff. I try to in the water, take them on the water, jet skis, whatever. I'm just trying to get them some island love and let them have an experience they never had before.
And also we know this is an Olympic year, and the men's national basketball team is on the cusp of making history, and we know the AmeriCup tournament is this week. How exciting is that?
Oh, it's very exciting. Thanks to all the support of the human people, Prime Minister Davis, everybody, Mario, Oleg, everybody that has take part in getting us to this point. LJ, our GM, we've really put in time and putting this team together. I just think that we just got to stay together. I think this run we had in Argentina, LJ bring the team together. We shows the team camaraderie and just the training camp and all that stuff. I feel like we're ready to make that next jump. It's not going to be easy, but we have a lot of powerhouses. Spain, we'll be in Spain. We're done be at a disadvantage because we're not in our home soil. So and Spain will be there. So, but we like it the hard way. We're gonna figure it out, and we have a great coach, Chris DeMarco. He's done an excellent job, and I feel that once we come there and ready and settled in and lock in, I feel that we can get to the Olympics.
With sails set and ready to go at Montague Beach, junior sailors from around the Bahamas competed in the Sir Durward Knowles National Junior Sailing Championships from February 22nd to the 24th, 2024. The event occurring for the first time since 2018 due to COVID-19, and also the first time since sailing has been declared the national sport of the Bahamas.
I think it's been an incredible regatta so far. I've been on and off site for about a week, and every day the energy has just been so good. You see children here, or the youth here from Andros, from Grand Bahama, from Exuma, from Eleuthera, and obviously from New Providence, and there's a real buzz. And I think you can really see that this is the dream when the government said sailing is a national sport, bringing together international sailing and sloop sailing. The government, when it announced sailing as a national sport, I work for a government and people are skeptical of governments when they make these announcements, but we always knew it was going to take years, not months. And the government has announced sailing in schools, it's announced that regattas like this, it's announced the intention for the National Sailing Academy, and these are all steps towards deepening sailing as a national sport. And I think this regatta is a huge leap forward. And it's the first regatta in my 2 years where sloop sailing and international sailing has taken part on the same day. And as a parent, I'm so proud as well, because my boy normally sails Opties, the international boats, and this has been the first regatta, in fact the first time he's ever been able to sail E classes as well in the sloops. And he's out in Lloyd Sand's boat, Judgment D, and he came 3rd and 6th yesterday, and he's like, God, the E-class is so fast. He's loving it so much. And as a parent, I'm so proud to be here as well. Everyone's well behaved, there's a great atmosphere, the energy's good, the Bahamians and the tourists are coming together. And as a visitor, I just feel like what a great event. The UK has always, for the last year or so, been supporting sailing as a national sport. In Exuma last year, we brought out the heads of British sailing. They run the most successful Olympic sailing team of all time. And they came to Exuma and they declared it the best regatta they'd ever been to. They absolutely loved it. And then last summer we donated 40 scholarships for children from government schools to learn how to sail in the summer program. That was really successful. And then we thought, well, let's go further and let's donate a boat. And an E-class sloop is the perfect boat for a young person to learn to sail in. It's a great crossover boat, so there's loads of sailors who sail the international classes, the lasers, the Opties, the Sunfish, and this is a great boat for them to learn all about Bahamian sailing. And it's a great boat for those people who are learning to sail to come on this and then move on to a bigger B class or a C class. We're very glad to have asked Mark Knowles from Long Island to build the boat. You can tell it's a Long Island boat because it arrived last night and the paint was still wet, and in great Long Island tradition. And he's done a wonderful job. It's been wonderful to spend the last couple of months watching him build this and come together. And actually, the investment has been about youth sailing, but we've been really proud that as part of that, we've been protecting these craftsmen who have these incredible skill. And there's only 8 or 10 of these people left in the Bahamas. And the more work they get, the more chance they've then got to apprentice young people, to pass on the skill and to allow that generational change of these new young craftspeople to come through as well. So that's been great. And Mark's been good fun to work with, and I think he's done an incredible job. It's racing red, so we know it's the fastest boat on the island already. And actually I've got a bet going with Minister Clay Sweeting that he's got a boat he's building called Sugarloaf, and we've got a bet on for Exuma which one's going to win, and I reckon mine's going to win. But this is a great boat, and we've very proud to now have handed it over to the Bahamas. This is now a Bahamian boat for Bahamians to sail and Bahamians to enjoy. It'll race in Exuma with a Bahamian crew, and we've named it. We announced the name last night with sail number 50, with the name The Independence. Which is talking about the spirit of adventure as a young person. It's obviously an acknowledgement of our past as two countries, but it's certainly a nod to the future as two independent and equal countries working together and sailing together through this world as partners of choice, we hope, and certainly equal partners as well.
Anything else you'd like to add before we wrap up?
Just congratulations to the ministry. I think it takes an awful lot of organisation, and I think they've done a really, really good job with this regatta.
I'm Chris Williamson, and this has been Your Government in Action, a proud presentation of Bahamas Information Services. Join us on Tuesday evenings where we bring you highlights, coverage, and information as we continue to do what we do best, linking people and government.